That's right.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Happy Wednesday to all. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Richie, here with my guy, Mr. Idris Salam, aka Bosco from the Bronx.
And it's cold here in the Carolinas. It's in
Not
the
the
20s.
same kind of cold in Florida, but bro, I'm not made for that cold anymore.
That's why I'm moving south, dude. I'm flying with the birds.
Not even gonna lie, long day at work.
Yeah.
Couple of Coronas. I was in the jacuzzi last night, just feeling the pain yesterday. Definitely feeling the pain. So some of those anniversary pains. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you the truth, man. After that shower, hit that thing, feel like a new person.
Oh, that's all it takes is a good shower.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all it takes, man.
Speaking of showering, there's a lot of stench that needs to be wiped away from some of this mediocrity we've been seeing around the league. My God, a lot of teams still alive in the never-ending, ever-evolving wild card push in the NFL. I mean, it's parody at its finest.
It's funny because the Giants are still in it. I mean, just go ahead and slit our throats, man. Just get it over with, you know.
I know. I feel like one of those Puerto Rican pigs right before the holiday. You know, you
right.
And build them
on the thing. Crazy, man.
Shouts out Uncle Randy and my father. That was messed up what they did to me back then.
When they try to put you on
I'm over here making friends with the pig. Next thing you know, he's looking at me at the table. I'm supposed to draw an apple.
That's what I'm saying. I said they try to put you on the thing. Put the apple in your mouth or something.
But he got canceled by Pete out here. Thursday night football sees the New Orleans Saints traveling to LA to take on the Rams, 7-7 around the board. Both teams vying for wild card positions. In the Saints' case, an NFC South division crown is still possible. Saints and Rams are coming off wins against the Giants and Commanders, respectively. I know going into the game, you and I being Giant fans, one of our optimisms going in was that we could possibly get behind the Saints secondary because they're nursing a lot of injuries. Mm-hmm. We, of course, were not able to exploit that. Can the Rams exploit that with their very talented receiving room? And I would have to say the matchup on the other side is, can they keep Matthew Stafford upright? Because the Saints were all over Tommy DeVito. I think that's the key matchup here. You're looking at the Saints pass rush versus the Rams' ability to get behind the secondary, and make no mistake about it, Kyren Williams, Alvin Kamara are going to be featured in this game to see who can win the power toe in terms of, running the rock.
Yeah, I think with us, I think Stafford would be. I think he had more success. One thing, his experience. I mean, he's been there, done that, so he knows. Absolutely. And their O-line is a little bit better than ours, And
a lot of people's O-lines are better than ours.
Yeah, except for Washington. But I think Stafford would be able to exploit their secondary. I'm kind of surprised at what little we did do against New Orleans last week. I mean, it's like we didn't even do the bare minimum. But Stafford's going to capitalize on the things that we should have. That team's playing better, man. It's like they just finally got it together once Cooper Kupp came back.
Bro, the Saints showed me a little something too, because I really thought the Giants were just going to come out a lot more intense. And you got to give the Saints credit last week. I think what frustrated me in that particular game is that I just didn't see us making adjustments. I understand that if you're losing at the point of attack, you got to find a way to just hit guys underneath and get those safe checkdowns. I do want to ask you this. Obviously, we're talking about this game. A quick question. Got into it with a couple of Giant fans. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, when DeVito just didn't look like himself and, in my opinion, sled way too early, do you think we should have just rolled with Tyrod at that point because of the fact that it's a veteran coming into a game against other players that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like in that moment, not saying give him back the job, but I feel that we should give him a couple of series to see if our fortunes on offense could have turned. But it just wasn't our day. When you lose your
That's how I felt. I felt the same way. Yeah, I think we should have went on in the Tyrod. That was a hit. I mean, even though he slid, that was still a, DeVito's tough.
I had mixed feelings on that. Personally, as a rookie, you got to get down earlier.
You got to get down earlier than that.
And do that call. He got down late.
He got down real late. And I think you got to go with Tyrod sometimes because Tyrod is that experience. He'll see things DeVito don't see. He'll do things DeVito wouldn't necessarily do. He might be a little fragile, but it's just things he knows because he's been in the league 10 plus years that he'll be like, okay, this is what I do. He doesn't make those mistakes, man.
Different. It's just, granted, it was only a handful of plays. I just felt that even when he almost had that one ball picked, it was underthrown. That's an overreaction on almost picked. Yeah. I feel that the offense just looked a little better. Back to the game at hand. This is one of those games that it's funny. It could either be a defensive struggle in the low 20s, or you could see both the quarterbacks really ramping it up because, Derek Carr looked great last week.
Yeah, he did.
And say enough about what Matthew Stafford's been doing.
Without Chris Olave, too.
Without Chris Olave, yes. Gotta give him credit. I like the Rams in this one, but I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. I think you're looking at high 20s, Rams favor. I'm going to go Rams 27, Saints 23. I think the difference in the game is that I think the Rams just have the ability to put together longer drives. And the way Kyron Williams has been running the ball, he's been a godsend for that team because coming into the year, he wasn't even part of the equation. And I don't care what their standings are. You get in the playoffs, you got a former Super Bowl winning quarterback, you have a former Super Bowl MVP at wide receiver, and you have a young man that could tote the rock, you have a chance. Oh, and you also have a Hall of Famer in Aaron Donald on the other side.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This is a team that is not afraid to fight with anyone, and they showed that against Baltimore in a losing effort.
I'm going with you. We both got a 4-point spread. I got a 28-24 to Rams. Plus, they're playing at home, too. Rams know, hey, we can make these playoffs. We may not win a division, but we can make these playoffs, get a pretty decent seed, considering we'll be a wild card. But this is Stafford's game, man. This is what he does, man. This is his time. Take us to the playoffs, man. Just get us there.
Yeah, Stafford, definitely a true gamer. The one commonality that him and his opponent have in this game, Stafford obviously got his taste of glory a couple of years ago with the Rams, but prior to that, very similar to Carr. Just, a good quarterback taking way too many beatings and just being on half-ass teams.
A lot of numbers and a lot of beatings.
A lot of beatings. And I will say this, a Saints loss doesn't necessarily screw them out of the playoffs. And, Tampa's got a tough game in the same week as well. So I do believe that there's going to be a lot to be decided. It's going to be a hell of a finish down the stretch, particularly in the NFC on the bottom part. It's all just everybody. Yeah.
What's saving New Orleans is the division.
I mean, dude, the fact that the Giants are still not dead. Just what else do you need to know about parity in the NFC?
Just go ahead and take us out of our misery. Just get it over with. Let's get it over with. You know
what? They're so messed up. They love messing. They might. I don't even want to talk about it, bro. If your cousin's watching, he's probably laughing at both of us right now.
We're gonna beat them.
Oh God, we haven't won a game in that building since.
I know.
Saturday brings us
it's edibles. That's what they do to you, man.
8-6 Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the 7-7, suddenly really struggling Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers were 7-4 once upon a time. Now they're 7-7. Mike Tomlin in danger of having his first losing season. And there have even been whispers, which I don't agree with, that a coaching change could potentially happen. I honestly don't think it'll get that far. Got to talk about fantasy football because this is one of the biggest effects on the team. King Richard chasing the dream for a second championship in a row. Jamar Chase will not be suiting up for this one and probably not for my championship if I survive this round. T. Higgins, great receiver. Tyler Boyd, excellent. Irwin might be mixed into this equation. Even at running back, Joe Mixon, which was shocking last week, actually had as many touches as his backup. You've never seen that in Joe Mixon's career. But the most important thing is that the Bengals keep finding a way to win, and you called this quite some weeks back about the ability of Jake Browning to not have to come in there and be limited in the offense. I'm not saying he's Joe Burrow. Not many people are, but
he's a quality backup.
Quality backup who's going to draw some interest from a lot of teams. And if the Bengals are smart, they're going to want to keep him and make him a decently paid backup.
This is the guy that I wanted us to draft in the second round. Yeah, I knew he would be there. I was like, he's going to be there. He didn't go second. He didn't go third. He went undrafted. And I was like, we could have picked this guy up.
Yeah, dude, you've mentioned that on many a show. And I must admit,
man.
I must admit, when he first came in, under siege in that Baltimore game, I didn't have the highest opinions. But week to week, he has consistently put this team in a position to win. And another thing that nobody's talking about with this Bengal team, their defense is really playing at a high level where I don't think too many people around the league, or even us going into the year, thought that the Bengals defense at different junctures of the year was going to play the role of their backbone. But that is exactly what has been going on. And now you enter a Pittsburgh team. Granted, they are at home. Mitch Trubisky looks like garbage. Kenny Pickett didn't look much better when he was starting. And it appears that
Mason Rudolph.
I think what really got me last week was the Steelers had a substantially good start, momentum-based start, and as soon as the headhunting penalty, victim being Michael Pittman Jr., the Colts just kind of galvanized, rallied, and then got mad and then kicked the crap out of the Steelers. And I think the thing that I'm unfamiliar with is that the lack of discipline, I'm not going to call it lack of preparation, I'm going to call it the lack of execution, just doesn't line up with a Mike Tomlin team right now. And I think that's why week to week, I've caught myself in these pick and pulls with Jordan, still giving the Steelers a shot.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not used to seeing this brand of football from them. But at some point you just gotta trust the eye test. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not good right now, and how they won 7 games is actually beyond me.
Speaking on the quarterback, this is like someone asked you, how do I get the quarterbacks right? If you look at the successful quarterbacks over the years, they played 2 or 3 years. Tom Brady, Drew Brees in college. They played 2 to 3 years at least in college. Jake Browning, quality backup. Who else is that? Brock Purdy, 3-4 year starter at Iowa State. These guys played. They stayed with college to where these guys 1 year. Trubisky started 1 season, then he was drafted.
That's a lot.
You look at Matt Stafford, he played a couple of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it to a kid from high school jumping straight to the pros in basketball. There's a lot of nuances that you're catching on the fly when you start playing against the grown-ass men.
Because when you go from high school to college, it's like this. Then when you go from college to pros, it's like this. So if you have 1 year, Kenny Pickett, he played 2 years, I think, maybe 1 or 2 years. Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, these guys like 1 and maybe 2 year starters in gimmicky offenses. You bring them to the NFL, like what happened?
But I think it kind of explains like some of the career trajectory, because you mentioned a guy like Baker Mayfield, guy like Kyler Murray. They had very high highs, but they also had very low lows. Like a guy like Baker Mayfield, he's getting this second or actually a third act, really, when you look.
He's starting to show a little bit more,
but he had to get kicked around a little, which ultimately made him a more mature player, because in Cleveland, he was immature. I think he thinks he was a lot better than he really was.
Right.
And, he got kicked around a little, playing with Carolina, playing with the Rams. The Bucks kind of literally took a flyer on him.
Yeah. Look at Kyler Murray.
And to be honest, he looks better this year than Tom Brady looked last year with that offense.
And look at Kyler Murray. He was the idiot. But now he's quiet. He's not yapping because he's starting to see, look, dude.
He knows that if he doesn't hone in, he will be an afterthought in this league.
He'll be out of the league.
Absolutely. It's a very replaceable position because so many kids out of college come into the league every year. As this game goes, there's a part of me that wants to pick the Steelers because I'm like, are they really going to lose 3 straight home games? Yeah, they're really going to lose 3 straight home games. It's going to be a low-scoring affair. I've got the Bengals winning this thing 24-20 on a late touchdown. I got the Steelers actually playing better, keeping it close. Bengals will silence the crowd late. And the Bengals just keep it moving, and it will improve to 9-6. And the Bengals just showing so much resolve. You know, Zach Taylor, not a guy that you're thinking about for Coach of the Year because there's other candidates, but this is a guy that has kept his team together after losing a top 3 quarterback in this league. So you got to give the credit. Just as capable of anyone winning this conference. Nobody wants to even consider that thought, but I really think the Bengals are legit right now. And I actually think they're playing better. And I'm not saying this is because of Joe Burrow.
Right.
Sometimes when you lose a player on the level of a Joe Burrow, it brings guys together in a different kind of focus. And I do believe that in this regard, it's happening. I leave the door open for the Steelers winning for the sheer fact that Jamar Chase is that damn important, but I still think the Bengals find a way.
I think I'm going the same thing score wise. I think Pittsburgh scored 17. I think the Steelers' problem began when Matt Canada came in. They drafted Kenny Pickett. They picked up Mitchell Trubisky. You still had Mason Rudolph. They had Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, and he might have.
I actually think if Dwayne didn't tragically pass, I think that might have been the juncture of his career where he ascended and finally fit in somewhere. And it's unfortunate because we'll never know how that would have played out.
Yeah, and I think with all those things, they said I was never sold on Kenny Pickett. I just wasn't. And we seen Mitchell Trubisky. We seen him in Chicago. We seen him in Buffalo. We've seen enough of him. We already know Mason Rudolph. His greatest claim to fame was the incident with Myles Garrett.
Grabbing his balls.
That was just so they got to scrap it, man. They got to get another quarterback. That's what they need.
Back to that, bro. This has nothing to do with this. I just got to say this. When you go for a man's undercarriage, and then everybody's so appalled, oh my God, I can't believe that he took his helmet off. He flung it at him. Well, what a savage. I'm like, bro, he got everything he deserved.
He got it.
Rudolph was running around with no helmet against a man like Myles Garrett. Are you fucking crazy?
Yes, boy.
Bro, ugly scene, but I don't like how they tried to paint Myles Garrett as a bad guy. He's far from it. Actually, quite a good guy.
He went south of the border. Anyway.
Hey, it's a bad game. Two lusty as shit. I'm sure neither one of them are proud about what happened.
I'm going 28-18 Cincinnati.
All right. We're in agreement on our first two. There's no way we won't agree with this one. And this is huge for my fantasy cause. I got Josh Allen starting 8-6 Buffalo, who's on fire at 5-9 LA Chargers, who just fired their coach. Can backup quarterback stick it to the Bills? Hell no. Last week saw the Bills defense step up and the running game took over in a very windy stadium. The Dallas Cowboys really got pushed around. They really got bullied. And you know what's kind of wild? The door is still open for the Buffalo Bills to win the East because they finalized the season in South Beach against the Dolphins, a team that in Buffalo they put up over 40 points against. As this game goes short and sweet, I know the Bills are going to beat them good. I'm just praying that Josh Allen has one of those signature games because Josh Allen on the bye week, which didn't affect me in fantasy, had a very pedestrian game. But I think this is the kind of game where big game Gabe Davis, James Cook out of the backfield catching passes as well as running, and Josh Allen himself just playing like he's the biggest kid on the field. I think it's going to be a little bit of all of it. I believe if there's one bright spot on the Chargers, it's actually my streamer pickup. Palmer, in a losing effort, I could see him going for close to 100, and I'm going to need it because that is my Jamar Chase replacement. Buffalo 34, Chargers 13.
Buffalo found their offensive coordinator because you know the thing about it, Josh Allen 10 touchdowns, I mean, 10 straight games with a touchdown, rushing and passing consecutive. That's insane.
And on the flip side, the negative part is that prior to that Dallas game, those INTs on a week-to-week basis were going into historical value. But that's what you get when you get a gunslinger.
Yeah. I think they found what they need to do, and it's something they didn't do, run the ball. You don't have to run it with Josh Allen all the time. You don't have to throw it 20, 30 times to Josh Allen all
yes,
the time.
They do when you're chasing a fantasy championship.
Well, I'm out of it.
I want him like that. I don't care if he has 3 rushing yards. I want 3 touchdowns on the goal line.
I'm the New York Giants right now. I'm 5-9. So hey. I'll stay true to my team. I'm 5-9.
To a very angry commissioner who had a talented team and missed the playoffs in the consolation bracket. John Olsen coming for blood.
Yeah. Stop laughing. Oh, I think they found what they need to do. Run the ball. Let Josh Allen be a facilitator rather than just throwing it all. If he has to run the ball. They got
matchup based, bro. It's always going to be matchup based. You know, there's certain defenses that are going to force you to throw more and get a little imbalanced in your attack, because in today's NFL on so many levels, the pass opens up the run. Yeah. What I love about what Buffalo's doing right now is that, in my opinion, the worst conference compared to the NFC. I think the AFC is slightly weaker at the top. Yeah. I think the Buffalo Bills have as good a chance as anyone, whether they're a wild card or whether they catch Miami, to kind of do what nobody thinks this year. Previous years, they've been a favorite.
Right. No pressure.
I think they got all the losing and all the heartache and all the shit losses out of the way. I can see Buffalo running the table and going to the bowl. I'm not even playing.
They don't have that pressure now.
No.
It's Baltimore that has the pressure.
If anybody's got pressure, it's the Chiefs. It's the Ravens.
Right.
The Dolphins, because, they're a team that hasn't done a damn thing in terms of hoisting a Lombardi or even playing in one. Played one in the 80s.
Anybody of any significance?
They haven't won it since 72?
Yeah. Damn, it's been that long.
It really has, bro. And their only appearance
was when they got whipped by Washington.
Second year in the league against was it the second, first or second year? We played Joe Montana, and they got their doors.
They whipped.
Buffalo is playing house money right now, and that is a dangerous thing.
I'm gonna say a score. You had what, 30 something 13? Was it 30?
30-13. I just hope that Allen at least throws 3 touchdown passes, or any combination of 3 touchdown passes. I think I should handle Jake this week and head to the final.
I'm going to go 35-14. That defense is Bosa stays hurt. He can't stay on the field. I mean, Von Miller. Khalil Mack, they're not doing nothing, man.
Now, let me tell you, man, they might play a little harder because they fired Staley, but I will say this. They quit on that coach.
I was going to ask you, do you think they could? I think they could, because the Raiders are not that good to hang 42-0 at halftime. They are not that good.
Anything's possible in any game, but the bottom line is
they gave up. They
gave up, and it's a reflection of what they think about their coach. Bottom line, they gave up on their coach, and this is a dude that I cannot believe held that job as long as he did. I would have fired his ass after they lost to Jacksonville last year.
1 year as a defensive coordinator, and the Chargers gave him a head coaching job. That's like the knucklehead we had that's back in New England.
Joe
Judge.
The dumbass who had the giant hoodie, but it still had like that Patriot layout. Yeah, I'm like, dude, go get a new hoodie, you cheap bastard.
Who ran a damn wedge on 2nd down and 3.
Bro, when he did that shit,
that was it. Like, I knew he was gone.
Just punt on 3rd down. You got to go.
I knew he was gone. He was gone right after. Anyway.
Rules by a lot. Me and Idris here.
Stick's gonna get stuck, man.
Washington Commanders at 4-10, at the New York Jets at 5-9. Both these teams have much higher expectations coming in. It goes without saying, it's unfortunate what happened to Aaron Rodgers. This was his target date comeback. But with the Jets being eliminated after the 30-0 drubbing in Miami, no reason to take that chance. Zach Wilson, mixed bag, more of the bad part of it. This could be a game where he kind of has a better game. Washington's defense is not that good. Their offensive line is even worse. Robert Saleh, is he in danger of being replaced? There's been a lot of chatter that the Jets are not happy with him, and he's not happy with management either, because almost on a sense that he was forced to keep pushing out Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm. My sources, not the guy you know, but the other guy you know, says Salah might be gone. I'll still wait for you to come on the show, and you know who you are. Only reason I'm not saying your name is because I can't. No,
I get it.
But,
it's
he said he heard Salah might be out, all because of the Zach Wilson thing, because he didn't want to play Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and then you got Tim Boyle, who's even worse. They allowed Joe Flacco to not be on the caller stream. He's currently balling out in Cleveland.
Right.
The Jets,
5 years old, man.
Just a horrific situation. And I can't remember who said this. It might have been Zappy earlier in the year. I know Zappy alluded to it, but I got to give him props on this one. He had made a mention that the offensive line, particularly the tackle positions for the New York Jets, were definitely questionable.
Yeah. So
when you're getting a guy like an Aaron Rodgers in there and you're making that hefty investment, it's almost like building a car without the engine.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I got to shout out Zappy for seeing something that could have went wrong way early. Ultimately, it didn't take too long to happen. I mean, anything can happen on any given Sunday. And Aaron Rodgers has had a propensity for not getting hurt, with the exception of that one, I think it was a collarbone or shoulder earlier in the career. But point to be made is this was a team that was like the hot place where a lot of veterans wanted to go to try to get that ring, as it's been like a theme. The Rams did it. The Bucks did it. Put together as an Avenger type team and just go get it done. But I do believe Aaron Rodgers will come back firing on all cylinders, much happier next year. But I do have a question, though. Let's say hypothetically, if Robert Saleh doesn't get retained, Nathaniel Hackett is Aaron Rodgers' man. Does he get bumped back up to a head coaching situation, or does he stay at OC? And do they go outside the organization to get their next man? Because there are going to be plenty of qualified coaches to take over this job. And I'm not pitching that I think Saleh should be gone. I think it's an unfortunate set of circumstances that has led it here. Because I got news for you, man. Last year, Robert Saleh was my number 2 in terms of my head coach of the year behind our guy Dable. I don't think Saleh's a bad coach, but I do believe that there's just too much friction from top to bottom that has really cancerized this team. Matchup wise, as this game goes, I think the Jets are going to actually win, because I believe that as terrible as the Jets offense can be sometimes, what they have going for them in this game is that who the hell is going to keep their front seven off of quarterback Sam Howell?
Right.
Unless if the Jets give it away on offense, which is also possible. I don't see the Jets losing here. I don't think it's going to be offensive mastery by any means, but I could see a Sauce Gardner pick 6. I could see, Howell just under siege all game. I hope he doesn't get hurt. I would go Jets 24, Commanders 16. 1-score victory for the New York Jets in a lost season, but they will win. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with a Commander win, because it could push them ahead of the G-Men, or at least close enough to the G-Men down the stretch. They'll have to play Philly 2 more times.
Yeah.
I don't like finishing in last. I don't like tanking, but at the end of the day, it's hard to not think about the draft right now.
Oh, yeah. With me, it's sad about Washington, because I don't feel bad for him either. I'm like Wellington Mara. I mean,
they
can lose.
They can just get a tall glass of milk. Read
his because Sam Howell's a good quarterback, man.
You're damn right.
McLaurin, great receiver.
Love Terry McLaurin. Nothing but respect for that dude.
That guy, and he doesn't complain. He just goes out there and balls. He knows how bad the team is, but he just does his job.
This is the end of Ron Rivera coming up.
Oh, it's over. Imagine if Sam Howell played for the Jets. He might get hit, but he wouldn't get. I mean, he's putting up numbers with Washington, getting sacked 20 times a game.
Bro, about 6 weeks ago, he was leading the league in passing yards.
God, yes. It's sad. I want to say Washington, but I don't see them keeping that Jets defensive line off of Sam Howell, man. And he's going to throw one there.
It's going to be because of something stupid. It's going to be special teams, or it's going to be because their offense just couldn't capitalize when their defense did everything possible.
Yeah, he's going to throw one up there, and Sauce is going to be out there, and it's going to be the McLaurin, and Sauce is going to grab one. I'm going to say
Sauce is so damn good.
Yeah, I'm going to say 24-21 Jets. I say 24-21 Jets. Salah, I feel bad for him because he never wanted to play Zach Wilson.
And this is some of the fantasy that has always been the Jets organization, because there's a reason why the Jets have been ringless for over 50 years, whereas the other team that shares that place with them has won one Super Bowl each of the last 4 decades. Organizationally, I'm just going to say it, dude.
They have been in the playoffs in 13 straight seasons.
It's horrible. Dude, the Jets are run similarly to the way the Mets used to be run. I'm not going to say that the Mets are run in a bad way now, because whether you like Uncle Stevie or not, I think he's doing everything in his power to give the Mets like, yo, I'm going to throw the money out. I'm going to get what we need.
Just the Mets are just the Mets, you know.
Right.
Something's going to go wrong. But
Stevie's trying. The Wilpons is cheap.
Yeah, Stevie's trying.
Yeah, I give him that. And I'm not saying the Jets aren't trying. When you go out and get a four-time league MVP, but there were so many things that I feel
they're meddling. The owners are meddling. Yeah, the owner and manager are meddling. That's the problem.
Look at the Packers, bro. The Packers let Rodgers walk, and they currently have a better record than the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They basically have to restart the team.
Absolute.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, for Detroit, pretty much a lock for that division at this point, taking on the 7-7 Vikings. The Vikings are a week-to-week team. I personally believe this has the makings of a shootout because, number one, the combination of Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown just really looking great for the Lions right now. And I was thinking about this, right? Mm-hmm. The Gibbs Montgomery duo as well. Yeah. If these Lions start clicking all the way on offense, like I think they're capable of, it can compensate for some of their defensive inadequacies, because they still have a chance to not only get the 2 seed, but believe it or not, still get the 1 seed. The San Francisco 49ers don't have a gimme against the Ravens this week, nor do the Cowboys against the Dolphins.
Nope.
This is in Minnesota. I personally don't believe that home field means a lot when both these teams play indoors.
Not in the NFC North.
Nah, man, they've been winning at each other's fields all season. That's the most erratic division this year in previous years that I've seen. Vikings are very much alive for the wild card picture. Yeah. But I see this thing moving. If Nick Mullins comes out of the gates and just plays like Kaka, and last week he had some good moments, so I'm not insinuating that could happen. But I think it's a short leash where you might see Josh Dobbs back in it. However this plays out, I don't see a scenario where the Lions don't just come in there with some ferocious momentum, because they're feeling really good about themselves. And I think what they did last week against Denver, they got back to doing what they do and being confident within themselves. I expect a close one, but I expect the Lions to win. Going high 30s, mid 30s. I'm going to go Lions 34, Vikings 26. And I think that late Viking touchdown makes it closer than it is. I think the Lions are going to be on them. And I think defensively, the Lions are going to show something here. My man Anzalone getting a pick.
I'm going to go 34-28 Lions. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think it'll be an exciting game as usual. Laporta,
he replaced Hopkins, and that dude is a boss. Hopkins, of course, on the other side of Minnesota.
Yeah, that's ain't it? That's crazy. St. Brown, Montgomery. They have the team. Minnesota is saying, I think with Mullins, if he starts looking crazy early, they'll bench him and put. Yeah,
this is a must-have game, so I can't see them being too patient if things aren't working. But Ty Chandler, if Minnesota's going to win, if he could run the ball to his capabilities, that's another guy I picked up this week. Because I am kind of scared about starting Saquon against the Eagles. I want to, but I don't want to.
Yeah, because
And I feel so guilty, like he got me there. Like if I bench Saquon and he balls out, I'm gonna get so mad at myself.
Yeah. I everything you said about the game, I'm going 34-28.
Man,
Lions.
I hate fantasy football this time of the year. Too many choices to make.
This is why I always avoided fantasy football, because I've been wanting to root for people, but I'm like, I don't want them to win. You know,
it's not easy. I don't care how much you know. Some of this is straight up luck.
But I'm in it for good now, though.
Oh yeah.
Now that I took my beatings, I'm good.
Yeah. Get out of your system next week. The Cleveland Browns heading to Houston, 9-5 versus 8-6. I didn't think Houston was going to pull that thing out against Tennessee. They found a way without their starting quarterback. CJ Stroud, young gun versus old guard Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's been playing really excellent, out of his mind the last couple of weeks. And I'm saying to myself, is he due for a dud? That is my worry if I'm a Brown fan. At 9-5, I'm not too worried if I'm a Brown fan. But that would be my worry. Is Joe Flacco due for a dud? Honestly, I think so.
He's
3 weeks in a row off the couch, and I'm supposed to, okay, once again, picked him up in my other fantasy league. Patrick Mahomes has needed help. I have not been able to pair him with a quarterback.
I don't want to talk about Mahomes.
I know. I picked up – who did I pick up? Christ, I don't even remember. That's how many moves I've been making. But the point is, Flacco got me through round 1. And now I'm putting him back on my bench.
For who?
Man, let me pull this up. This is driving me crazy. I'm telling you, I get.
Why are you doing that?
These fantasy moves I've been making that I actually forgot.
I think Flacco, he's due for one, and that defense, you know who the coach is. That's where he coaches his defense. CJ Stroud coming back.
How did I forget? Brett's man, Mr. Improvement, Derek Carr. I'm surprised he was on waivers. Now, mind you, this other league is only 8 teams, but you play so many people. You got 2 defenses, 2 kickers, 2 quarterbacks.
You sure you want to sit Flacco?
I don't know, man. I might talk myself out of it on the air right now. Who knows? I do like Derek. Do I really like Derek? Man, I got to think about this.
Yeah. Anyway, Cleveland, Houston. Stroud back. Joku's back. Well, Joku's playing his game.
Playing out of his mind.
And he got the right quarterback throwing to him. This is, oh damn. I want to go Cleveland. But DJ Stroud, man.
On a week-to-week basis, these are 2 of the toughest teams to figure.
And they're playing at home too, man. And I've never had respect for
Ohio State too. I think Fairbairn's
Fairbairn, yeah,
he's finally coming back.
And he came out last week.
Oh, okay.
He played last week. And like I said, I've never been a fan of Ohio State quarterback, but CJ Stroud, he's seen a broke the mold of bad quarterbacks.
Sure.
And he smashed the mold. Damn. I'm gonna go Houston reluctantly in a close one. I'm gonna go 24-21. But it wouldn't surprise me if Cleveland won. It really wouldn't, because Flacco, man, the guy's golly. He said on the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston 24-21.
It's just wild how he just fit in so properly with these guys.
Against his rival. Remember, he played at Baltimore.
Yeah, man.
Did you see the interview he had on ESPN?
He won a Super Bowl MVP with them. It just seems like another lifetime ago. I mean, bro, he beat Colin Kaepernick.
Did you see the interview they had on with ESPN? Yeah, he was so I got to tell my kids, Yeah, I'm going 24-20. No, I'm going to go 28-25.
Yeah, you got to feel for him if you have kids later in life after you were a boss and now you're just another player, because you take a guy like Grant Hill in the NBA. That was a funny-ass interview.
Yeah.
He was like, I had to tell my kids to watch YouTube and see how nice I used to be, because in my final season, they made me guard Kobe Bryant.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Why would you do that to me?
Right. That was funny, man. That was funny.
And one of the real NBA good guys where he could make fun of himself, not take himself too serious.
That was hilarious, though.
Yeah, Grant Hill, great dude. As the game goes, defense wins championships.
Yeah.
But you know what also wins championships? Taking care of the football.
Taking care of the football.
The Cleveland Browns are going to win this game because I think C.J. Stroud is going to make one too many mistakes. I got the Cleveland Browns for the road dub, and Flacco keeps doing it, man.
Spit it out, man. Spit it out.
No, because Njoku, it's like Njoku is like putting up like friggin' like Kellen Winslow, Tony Gonzalez type numbers, and he's on my team too. So just keep the train moving. Don't question it. Green Bay and Carolina. I'm sorry that we have to talk about this. Carolina coming off their second win of the year. The Falcons are a different kind of just strange and bad and everything else. Arthur Smith, he should get fired for losing.
He's done.
I think so.
Carolina beats you.
I see Jordan Love, who's coming off a couple of rough ones. I see Jordan Love putting together a potential NFC Player of the Week performance.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna just really hone in and play his kind of game. Yeah. I got the Packers winning this thing convincingly because I think they're pretty pissed off after not necessarily squandering the playoffs. It's not out of reach yet, but it's getting close. I got the Packers winning this thing 35-17. And don't take too much out of the 17 for Carolina. I think one of them is going to be a cheap garbage time touchdown. Green Bay, 5 clean touchdowns, 4 through the air.
Yeah, I'm going to go. In fact, I'm going to use the same score. And I assume it's supposed to be cold here, which is not going to affect Green Bay. You know, they might feel like they're at home. Playing. You never like not affect Green Bay. So
cold will never affect Green Bay. If something's going to affect them, just like any other team, it's wind.
It's wind
that affected them in that MetLife game on Monday night against the G-Men, where it looked like the football gods were having a lot of fun with both teams with some of those numbers.
Yeah. So I'm going with the same thing. I don't see nothing out of Carolina, and Bryce Young. I mean, I wish him all the success, but
of course.
I just don't know, man.
He has had such a horrible year one compared to some of his peers that came out.
Yeah.
Just a horrible. I mean, bro, you can make a case that Tommy DeVito's having a better year than Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green Bay with you.
Yeah. Easy dub.
I'll let you start this one up because I have a feeling this could be a bit of an upset. Just maybe. I don't know, though. What are your thoughts on Tennessee hosting playoff hopeful Seattle coming off their biggest win of the year?
Tennessee is one of those teams that you don't know who's going to show up.
Nope. You
don't know which one's going to show up. They'll look good like this past game against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
They look like, okay, we got this. Then all of a sudden, I think they got robbed on that late hit.
Yes,
I think that could have ended the game right there because they could have went down, kicked the field, had been game, set, match. But still, you were supposed to put Houston away. Yeah, Houston had Case Keenum, but the guy's 75 years old. They should have put Houston away. I'm just saying. He's 75 years old, man. He came from the University of Houston also. He's a Houston Cougar.
Yeah.
They should have put him away. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I think Drew Lock is balling out. He's playing well. I'll put it that way. He's playing well. I don't know if Geno will be back. If Geno comes back, like I said, I feel Geno and Drew Lock are the same type of quarterback. There's one
in
black.
A lot of ways, they really are.
One's black, one's white, but they're both the same quarterback.
They're really similar.
I know you say, well, he's black. He could say that. No, anyone can say they're the same quarterback. Was black, was white. They're the same quarterback.
Shit about that shit.
I know you don't.
The skill set is in the same place, bro. Give two damns about that.
But I'm going to go Seattle. I'm going to go 28-21 Seattle. I think it'll be close, but I think Seattle, Seattle will do it.
Going to disagree with you here. Will Levis isn't playing, and that's not supposed to be a plus for Tennessee. Right. But Ryan Tannehill has got to be the most annoying quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if Zappy was here, he would go on a tangent on this. Because we're not Tennessee Titan fans, but I think as football people, we all love Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And when you consider that Derrick Henry has been in his own lane for so damn long, now, age and the miles are starting to show. And it's like, you bastards wasted so much of this man's prime with Ryan.
Hell of a running back, man.
Like, bro, I'm not saying that you can't be a running team and not upgrade the quarterback position. Will Levis,
right?
Well, I don't know yet. He just got started. We'll find out. He has a similar ankle injury to what Tannehill had last year.
Yep.
But Tannehill is such a just untimely guy that he will come in here and have one of his games.
Oh, he's starting?
The 45-yard screen pass where Henry took it to the house. One to Treylon Burks because there's like some weird coverage breakdown. Tennessee Titans. This is so messed up, bro. Tennessee Titans are going to win this thing, and it's going to be annoying because they're so irrelevant right now. 31 Tennessee, 27 Seattle. Seattle loses in similar fashion how they stole that Eagle game.
I could see that. And he's not as old as Vinny Test. Yeah, Testaverde is like what? He's like 100 or something like that.
Oh my god, bro!
What up, Shed? Shed. I keep forgetting Shed is in Syracuse because he's a 49er fan. I be wanting to say to him, man, you're up early, but I forget he's just right up the belt.
Oh yeah. Shed is upstate.
He's right up 95.
Might be joining me tomorrow. We're gonna look into it. As tomorrow's show goes, I honestly don't know what's best for the show yet. We're gonna let you guys know as the day moves along. I know Shed might be joining me. Obviously, you would not be able to jump in unless if you were able to sneak into somewhere. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Atlanta. Arthur Smith more than on the hot seat. I think Shane Steichen's boys come in here, bull rush them, run the rock.
Yeah.
Atlanta, I don't understand what's so complicated with this. Atlanta just needs to go back to what they do good. Run the damn ball. You keep trying to force Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Jonnu and all these other guys into game plans when you have a trio of guys that can run the rock. It's very frustrating the way the Atlanta Falcons are coached. I don't understand it.
You got a team built to run the ball.
Yes.
Built to run the ball. You got a decent offensive line. You got Algiers. You got Bijan Robinson.
Bijan's a friggin' boss, and he's only a kid.
You got two guys who can pound a defensive line. Both of them can pound a defensive line. And shoot down the field, but you want to try to force the ball to Pitts, who doesn't catch nothing. Drake London, who's open, but Ritter can't see him.
And he still struggles with the mastery of the route tree. And then Ritter, I think, is Heineke starting this week? I don't even know. Does it even matter?
Best to put Heineke in there.
Does it even matter? They'd be better off getting Chris Chandler off his couch since age has been the theme today.
Yeah, he's about 122, something like that.
Yeah, he's feeling comfortable, but really, though, like, when you consider that this is the highest level of football, I don't understand some of the inadequacies with coaching, game preparation, things of that nature. I don't get it. And the Atlanta Falcons are a gleaming example of a habitual pretender because of these inadequacies.
You know what? It's just like I feel with the quarterbacks, how these quarterbacks are not really learning in college and they come right to the pros at the 1 and 2. See with the coaches, they grab some hot shot coordinator who had one good year as a coordinator.
Right.
Put him as a head coach.
Right.
No, we can't do that.
No, it's wild. It's wild how it's like instant gratification, instant this, instant that. The Tom Brady interview, which I spoke on roughly a month ago.
That was solid.
I loved it because
that was solid.
Brady made so many great points, whether it comes to preparation, the product of the league, why it's fair to play defense. He hit on every variable And I gotta say, I agreed with about 90-something% of probably the whole thing, if I'm really being honest.
You know what? You know what it said about him? It said that, like, I know people probably said, well, they changed rules because of him, but Brady was a tough quarterback, though.
Damn right he was.
He was tough, and they go to show he wasn't detached from what was actually going on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He actually said, because he said stuff I like, well, damn, I didn't know he saw the game that way.
They can say what they want about Tom, but Tom took his fair share of beatings at the hands of
beatings.
The Ravens, the Giants, physical beatings.
Yeah, he took his beatings.
You know, he played in a very physical era. It wasn't always towards the end of his career. He played in essentially 3 different decades, different parts.
He played when it was hard.
You have to give a prediction. Atlanta's not going to win this game.
No.
They will find a way to not win this game.
That's what they do.
That's exactly what they do. Colts 26, Falcons 17. Colts win the turnover battle 3-0. And Atlanta, just for the final insult, is going to outgame the Colts. And they're going to give the damn game away. Before we get out of here, I did want to ask your thoughts on this, Idris. Tommy DeVito, the star, has risen very quickly, given the whole story. We talk about Syracuse. Syracuse quarterback, local kid. There was a controversy for the better part of the week about him, via his agent, jacking up a price for a local pizzeria, which I believe is in Morristown, New Jersey.
Yeah.
To DeVito's credit, and showing as a young man that he understands damage control, he shows up without being paid.
Yeah.
I was half awake, so do not quote me on this being real. But I heard rumors that their agent is already out with DeVito. I don't know if that's true. I got to read a little. I got to find out a little more. The Manning boys got a lot of shit for calling the agent slimy.
Yeah.
I don't recall who on NFL Network had a very deep opinion about Sean Stellato, but somebody had a lot to say about him too. This is my take, and I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. I understand that when you're an agent, you've got to do what's best for your client, even if it means being an asshole. But what I saw on Monday Night Football, I don't give a shit if he's wearing a fedora. I don't give a shit if he's wearing pinstripes. I don't give a shit if he wants. My thing is, he came out with that energy. Everybody's going to know that I'm on TV tonight. And when you're doing that kind of bullshit, you're taking away from the real gold or whatever, which is the kid, a local kid, getting the shot on a primetime setting against in an iconic rivalry. Packers and Giants is iconic. I understand. You know, he got what he wanted. But if 15 minutes of fame was ever based on that, like what it looks like, that's what it looked like. And I'm not saying I don't know the dynamic. I do not know the dynamic of the agent-player situation. But from a credibility standpoint, when the owner of a pizzeria proves via text that you jumped it 10 grand, and the only thing you have to say is that it wasn't agreed on, you look like a douchebag, bro.
Yeah.
And you're putting a very likable kid in a very compromising situation because this kid has been embraced by not only Giant fans, but by NFL fans alike, Italian Americans alike, even if you're not Italian, you know, whatever. The point is that the kid is super likable and everybody loves an underdog story.
I'm with you 100%. I don't know if they fired him because I hadn't heard anything. I did hear rumors and stuff and about the pizza thing. And I think he took away from he took the shine away from DeVito, and him doing that will get, I can't say it will give DeVito a bad name because DeVito went there like, hey, look, I'm doing this on my own, blah, 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 blah.
But if it's stepping on a player's toes.
Yeah, basically that's what he's doing just for his own.
I have a hard time believing that a kid that seems to be as grounded and as humble and as respected
his parents,
would be sweating 10 grand to shit on a family business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think
that's crazy.
I don't know behind closed doors what happens.
Yeah.
Tommy did the right thing as a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do I think that he could have been compensated? Yeah. The original deal was 10 grand.
Yeah.
But the fact that his agent pushed it up, and it wasn't a matter of he said, she said, whatever. It was proven.
Yeah.
It was proven. So in that regard, I think it comes down to a credibility issue.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that in the world we live in, you got to put stuff on paper. But if we shake hands and that's the deal,
that's old school.
You want to be a douche? Like, I'm sorry, bro. That's not cool.
Yeah, I agree, man. If they didn't fire him, and if all the stuff is true that came out, I mean, he got to go because it goes to show he's just self-serving.
I don't like dudes that want to overshadow the guys that have the real talent. I don't like that shit. I don't like when you're on the sidelines. You're on the sidelines with the New York Giants and you're rocking Kelly Green.
That makes a lot of sense.
Come on, bro.
That makes a lot of sense.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, you want to, because if your client does what he does and gets up there, you'll get your name. Because they be like, I need this agent. All you got to do is sit back. That's what made Robert Kraft such a great owner. Of all the stuff that went on, he said, this is Bill, this is Tom. Let them do it. I'll write the checks. He never meddled.
You know
what?
But
everybody said, Kraft. And see, that's how, I don't mean to interrupt you. That's how guys like Gil Brandt and Tex Schramm with the Cowboys,
it
was so respected. Tom Landry, respected because they said, look, this is what we do. Let the players handle their business. Even Jimmy Johnson, he said, y'all do what y'all do. I'll do damage control. Y'all just do what y'all do what y'all get y'all paid to do. Have fun. But these guys, these agents, and just like in MLB with referees, and now the NBA, they act like they want to be the stars. Like, look, just do your job. Because when you try to be a star, you wind up messing up the integrity of the game. Sit your ass down.
This is my thing too.
Yeah.
When you are going to those tactics, raising the price just because, it makes me feel that some of those desperation moves are actually disrespectful for your client, because it's almost like, oh, this isn't going to be here tomorrow, so we must drive everything up and we must maximize this opportunity. And I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, it makes the whole thing look cheap.
Yeah, disingenuous.
And you want to know something? When you're behaving on that metric and when you're trying to bend over a family business, it's slimy. Shouts out Eli Manning, and I don't give a shit who he offended.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, Eli was in this racket for a long time, and I think he knows what it looks like. Just saying. People want to take it left and be like, oh, what did he mean by that? I don't know. He meant the guy was an asshole. That's what he meant.
That's what it's. Eli knows New York media. He
like, oh, he saw too many movies. I'm like, dude, he didn't see too many movies. You saw too many movies. Look at that dad outfit you're wearing.
Eli knows New York. Eli is one of New York's adopted sons.
Yes.
Period. You cannot take
people were getting in their feelings when he called this guy slimy. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm embracing the quarterback. Nobody told me I had to embrace his agent. Like, guys, stop wilding out.
The agent was a sideshow. The quarterback is who I'm.
Like nothing short of a sideshow.
A sideshow.
Yeah, the way he behaved.
Yeah.
Made me think. He gave me like the David Kenner vibes for like fucking Death Row Records. Whenever you saw them in the courtroom, who's David Kenner?
Yeah, right.
That guy with the Death Row chain. That's David Kenner. That's what this dude remind me of.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I support Eli all the way because Eli called it out. He called it out.
But the thing is, like this agent didn't do himself any favors by confirming.
He forgot.
You get bent over a mom and pop spot. Come on, bro. Do better than that, man. These people love the New York Giants.
You are from the tri-state. You should know how we think. No matter what part of the country we go to, we all think alike. It's slimy. Period.
And like I said, I got to say this real quick. My friend's a big Eagles fan.
Yeah.
And she mentioned on her socials that she was so frustrated. It's a funny story because her and her hubby, he's a cowboy. They live in Texas. And she mentioned on her socials I'm so sick of this Manning cast and da-da-da-da. I think because she was like so entrenched in the game, she forgot that she could flip to the other ESPN. And with the Eagles and Giants on the horizon, I refused to tell her that she could change the channel because it's Eagle Giant week and it's a different kind of petty. For my man Idris, I am Richie. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. We are out.